What's up, man?
Hey, everything's everything, man. We back at it this week.
Okay, this week, what's this you playing? What is this?
Yeah, well, mine's been playing tricks on me, Sound like a good thing to throw in there today. You've always getting on me about the squeeze and please music, so I figured I'd change the paradigm,
Well, you definitely trying to move it
you
down. You
know?
definitely changed the
And that'll,
paradigm.
that'll, that'll fall right into the first thing we're going to get into today. You'll stay tuned.
So tell them about the reporter newspaper,
The
brother.
Reporter newspaper online. The Reporter newspaper has been in business for 50 plus years now, delivering the news from a black perspective. I've always said somewhat the black perspective gets left out of the mainstream news media from a positive standpoint because they always want to just, while we paint positive pictures, they only want to paint negative pictures.
So we being positive.
That's the pro to the con.
So man, let's kick this thing off, man. So the rapper Bushwick Bill from the Ghetto Boys, man.
Yeah.
Untimely death is kicking it right.
Mm-hmm.
So man, we missing a lot of people, man. Talk about it, man.
Well, that's kind of why I played his music to lead up to this, giving him some of a small tribute to the situation. Bushwick Bill, from my understanding, had pancreatic cancer, and he was, slated to go on his farewell tour with the Ghetto Boys, but he chose not to for certain reasons, which the fact that he passed, that would kind of been a conflict of interest, in my opinion.
Let's see what's going on, man.
Okay.
Bushwick Bill of the hip-hop group The Ghetto Boys tragically passed away this past weekend at age 52
I remember him.
after a battle with pancreatic cancer. So we broke the story earlier this year that Bushwick Bill was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer after going to the doctor after he wasn't feeling well for a while. When we spoke to Bushwick after his diagnosis, he told us that he was working on several albums and several other projects because he wanted to make sure that he would be leaving his family financially secure and his legacy intact. He was also working on a reunion tour with the Ghetto Boys as one last rodeo in response to his diagnosis.
Now, ultimately, Bushwick Bill pulled out of the reunion tour specifically because he felt like organizers were banking off his cancer diagnosis. Now, the actual title of the tour was The Beginning of a Long Goodbye, The Final Farewell. Bushwick Bill felt like the title made it seem like he was on his deathbed, when in reality, it was just a reunion with the Ghetto Boys.
What do you think about that, Animal?
Yeah, well, I understand his reasoning and why he would pull out, considering him being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, knowing that his time is short, and then the tour being deemed farewell tour, that kind of coincides with him dying.
You said that was sort of like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson, when he had it was going to be his last tour, and he said it was deemed this is it. Well, in that notion, we didn't know that it was actually it. So that kind of coincides somewhat.
So what's next, man? What we talking about next?
Well, we're talking about the Boston Red Sox legend hospitalized after being shot in the back in the bar.
Big Papi?
Yeah.
David Ortiz.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on.
Breaking news. David Ortiz, the Boston Red Sox legend, also known as Big Papi, was ambushed at a club in the Dominican Republic last night.
He was in his home.
We have the moment you've seen on this surveillance video.
He helped the Red Sox to 3 World Series championships. He was rushed to surgery overnight. The suspect is now in custody.
Fans, former teammates, everyone sending thoughts and prayers, well wishes. Eva Pilgrim is here, has the latest for us. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, guys. David Ortiz was just sitting at a table chatting with a friend when out of nowhere, a man rushed into the crowded club, taking aim right at him.
It's the brutal point-blank shooting that brought baseball heavyweight David Ortiz inches from death, all captured on security camera. This morning, the 3-time World Series champion, widely known as Big Papi, is recovering in a Dominican Republic hospital. The ambush happening at a nightclub in his hometown of Santo Domingo. Watch again as Ortiz, seen here, suddenly slumps over. ABC News learning he was shot once in the back, the bullet exiting through his abdomen. The suspect arrived by motorcycle before fleeing, but police say he didn't get far, taken into custody just outside the club.
The crazy part is, Animal, what they don't show on mainstream media, but we're going to tell you here, brother, of black media.
Oh, here we go.
They caught the fool. I'm talking about the people of the community inside the bar and gave them swift, poetic, melanated justice, brother.
And that's the way it should have went down.
Oh, man, you should see this footage, man. And I was excited. What makes somebody do that to a beloved native son. That does a lot of great things in the community for that particular community, and is a beacon of hope.
Well, people do that because you still have those demons. Like I've said, there's to every pro there's a con. Just like good is in play, evil is in play. And what's evil's main motivation? To go after good.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there it is.
What's going on? What happened in New York, man?
Well, there was a helicopter that, crashed on the roof in New York City, and I can understand why New York City would go into immediate shock, because the whole 2001 terrorist attack situation. So New Yorkers are still on edge about that. And to have something like this happen, that would all of a sudden give them that flashback.
Serious flashback. Let's see what's going on.
This is an ABC News special report. Now reporting, David Muir.
I'll never live in
Good afternoon. We do come on the air with breaking news at this hour. The FAA has confirmed a crash landing on the top of a building in Midtown Manhattan, a helicopter. We've been monitoring developments for some time and decided to come on the air because we have more facts at this hour. That helicopter, it's unclear whether or not it was a crash landing or a hard landing, though the distinction is moot at this point, because what we do know is when the helicopter came down on top of that building at 51st and 7th Avenue here in New York, 787 7th Avenue is the exact address, that we know that when that helicopter came down, there was a fire that followed. Our station here in New York, WABC TV, is reporting at this hour that there is one dead, though ABC News has not independently confirmed that as of this point. Governor Cuomo, moments ago, talking about that fire on top of the building, saying that for the most part it has been contained. It's believed that fire, though, might be out now at this point. Let's take a listen to the governor just moments ago.
Let's take a listen to Animal. You said exactly what he was saying about that, how the community was shocked.
They was already, they're going to be in an uproar because they thinking, oh no, another terrorist attack? I mean, they're thinking along those lines, which I could understand that.
The terrorist attack?
Yeah, that's the first thing that would come. That's the first thing that would come to my mind.
Well, guess what? Unless your mind was playing tricks on you.
Yeah, well, that could have been the case. My mind has been known to do that. That's why I tell my mind to shut up sometimes.
Take us out of here, Animal.
Well, this is the reporter newspaperonline.com. I'm Animal. This is my brother Hiram. Okay, I'm sorry, my brother. I do that sometimes. I slip the tongue.
What do you usually call him?
I call you.
The black man.
The black man.
All right.
Oh, you black? You black?
I'm saying.
I had no idea. But anyway, this is the reporter newspaperonline.com. We out.